Lesson number 26 teaches you about constructing major scales. We're going to start off by doing half of a major scale, which is 4 notes, called a tetrachord. But let's start off by writing our name at the top of the page. So the early Greeks devised scales that only had 4 notes or tones, and we would call these a tetrachord. Tetra meaning 4. So these were the building blocks for our modern major scales. And a major scale is what most of the music that we know as far as like children's songs and tunes that we hear are composed in major scales. Okay, there's other types of scales. There's minor scales, there's Phrygian and Dorian and all of those type of things. But for right now, you just need to learn about the major scales. So let's start off by learning the pattern for the tones of a tetrachord are whole step, half step. So if we have our keyboard here and you know that my first letter name that I'm going to build a tetrachord on is D, I'm thinking whole step. So I'm going up a whole step to E, up another whole step to F sharp, and then up a half step to G. So our tetrachord here is D, E, F sharp, G. Now, the one rule that you have to know when you're spelling tetrachords or major scales is use each letter name in succession once. So if I start on A, I know it has to be A, B, C, D. Okay, I can't say A, B, D flat, D. I have to say A, B, C sharp, D. Okay, so I always have to use the letter names in order. So on number 1, I'm using the starting notes here to build my tetrachords. Let me erase the things that I drew on here. Now, you can use the keyboard here or you can have it in your head, but basically what I'm doing is starting on B flat, I'm going up a whole step to C, up another whole step to D, and then up a half step to E flat. Erase my notes there. Let's start on F. So F up a whole step is G. G up a whole step is A. And now A up a half step is, now remember I have to use the next letter name, so it's B flat. All right. Now let's do number 3. I'm starting on A. I go up a whole step to B. Up a whole step is going to be, it has to be a C something, C sharp, and then up a half step to D. So I can use the keyboard that's listed on here just to kind of help you out, but you can also do it in your head. Okay, the more that you can visualize a keyboard in your head and just think of the notes as they're going up and down those letter names or those alphabet names with the sharps and going up or flats, then the faster you're going to get at being able to do all of this music theory. Okay? All right, number 4 through number 6. First thing we're going to do is draw a bass clef on these staves. Staves is the plural for staff. Okay, so let's just do that real quick. I'm going to draw my bass clef. I'm going to put my dots there. I'm going to go ahead and do it for all 3 of these just because I'm on a roll. Okay, so it's kind of an ear, top and bottom line of the staff. Don't go any bigger than that. And we're going to use the blanks to build a tetrachord and draw the notes on the staff. So let's spell it first. All right. Let me start off by spelling the note names on E flat here. Go up a whole step, F, up another whole step, G, up a half step. It's not G sharp because I've already used G. I want to go to A flat. So now I can spell those. If I'm on baritone or trombone, I'm going to be up here, F or E flat, F, G, A flat. Or if I'm on tuba, I'll be down here, E flat, F, G, A flat. All right, let's keep going. Number 5, G. Now I'm going to imagine my keyboard instead of thinking instead of using the keyboard that's on the page, okay? G, up a whole step, I think of G, G sharp, A, up a whole step, A, B, B, and up a half step, B, there's no B sharp, B sharp is C. So if I'm down here, I go G, A, B, C, no accidentals. Or I could do it up here, G, A, B, and then C is going to have my ledger line. All right, number 6, A flat. Now think where A flat is on the keyboard. It's in the center of the 3 accidentals. A flat, A, B flat, B flat, B, C is my whole step. And then up a half step is D flat. All right, so let me just do it here. A flat, B flat, C, D flat. Or you could do it way up here. A flat, I'm going to do this real fast. B flat, C, D flat. All right. So you really only have to do it in whatever works inside the staff, but because you're used to staff lines that are going, or ledger lines that are going up, or ledger lines that are below the staff for your instrument, draw whatever you're most used to. All right, let's move on to the second half of lesson number 26. And now we're going to use those tetrachords to spell our major scale. And a major scale consists of 2 tetrachords joined together by a whole step. So here's my tetrachord, whole, whole, half. Then I have another tetrachord, whole, whole, half, with the whole step in between. So I can either think of whole, whole, half for my tetrachord, another whole step up, whole, whole, half, or I can think of, the way I like to think of it, is just whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That makes it very simple. So 2 wholes and a half, 3 wholes and a half. Okay, let's use these notes to build our major scales. Again, if you have the keyboard in your head, it makes it so much easier, but you can use this keyboard up here. All right, B flat, up a whole step is C. Up another whole step is D. Up a half step, now it's not D sharp because I've already used D. I got to keep going. E flat, okay, remember your enharmonic tone. D sharp is E flat. Up a whole, F, G, whole, A, half, B flat. All right, see how all of my letter names are in alphabetical order, okay? I have to use every one of them one time. I can't use any letter name twice. All right, number 8. Let me erase these. Okay, so I have a clean keyboard, clean slate. G, up a whole step is A. Up another whole step is B. Up a half step, B just to the half step is C. Up a whole step is D. Up a whole step is E. Now E is a little bit tricky, so let's do it on our keyboard here. E, up a half step is F, up another half step is F sharp, and then up a half step is G. So your first note and your last note should always be the same. Okay? If you got a different letter name on the last note, then you know there's a problem somewhere else. Okay, on number 9, I'm spelling the note names of the major scales. Then I'm going to draw and notate the pitches on the staff. Okay, so I'm kind of doing the same stuff I did before by spelling the note names, but then I'm going to draw it out. So E flat, okay, find it on the keyboard here. F, up a whole, G, up a half, A flat. Okay, so whole, whole, half. Then I think whole, 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 half. Okay, A flat, up a whole is B something, B flat. Up a whole, okay, here's a B flat, here's a half, that is C. Up a whole, D, up a half, E flat. So check it, your first and your last are the same. All right, number 10. Let me erase all of my stuff on my keyboard. Number 10, D. So I'm thinking this D here, up a whole, E, Up a whole, remember half half is F sharp. Okay, not G flat. I have to use the letter names in order. Up a half, F sharp to G. So whole, 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 half. Yeah, just remember whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. G up to A. Up another whole, up to B. All right, here's another tricky one. B, half step, and whole step would be a C sharp. And then I end up on the same letter name as I started. Okay, then we're going to draw it on the staff. So bass clef first. E flat. I'm going to start off way down here. Okay, here's my E flat. F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. So notice that all of my note names and all of my letters just go straight up the scale. So that is a major scale of E flat. So on the next one, D, I'm going to go here, draw my bass clef first. I'm starting on D. So let me just start in the middle here. I'll wind up going above the staff, but D, E, F sharp. Okay, I'm just going line, space, line, space, line, space. Here's a C. Let me get rid of my little hole and a half so I have room. My C sharp, right? And then above the C sharp is D. So using tetrachords and really understanding that whole, whole, half is easy. Once you figure out that, then building a major scale, whole, whole, half, ho, 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 half, you can build a major scale off of any starting pitch. And that's really important, okay? Not only memorizing your major scales and getting good at playing those major scales, but knowing the music theory about how major scales are constructed will really help you in the long term. Okay, if you got that down, let's move on to our next lesson.